back to our regular monthly conversations, if you will, of everything Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, anything that really, frankly, comes out of Elon Musk.
Absolutely. I mean, it feels like we're doing, bi-weekly shows at this point with, the amount of information that we could possibly gather and talk about.
Yeah. I mean, well, look, we've got a number of crazy things been happening in the last couple of months with Elon Musk and Tesla primarily. SpaceX taking kind of a second piece. I mean, the stock market has gone absolutely crazy in the last couple of months for Tesla. A lot of speculation as to why. Whether it was the Model 3 release in China, whether it was the Cybertruck and some of the controversy that surrounded that, like what is it that's kind of good, that's created this all of a sudden this shift for at least financial interest into the company, considering it's one of the, I think they mentioned before, was one of the largest short sellers market.
Yeah, a lot of that I think has to do with Elon Musk and his tweet storming type scenarios and that sort of thing that causes those fluctuations, right? Again, I don't know if this is a range problem or anything of that nature. I think he's got so many other details that he hyper focuses on that it's really impressive. That really drives a market that doesn't even exist yet. He's almost creating products for a market that don't exist yet, that he opens up, right, and now they become something.
Yes, right? For sure. Well, I mean, look, we go through the scenarios where he'll let out a tweet storm, or he'll respond to a service call via Twitter about somebody asking for a new feature in one of his cars and so forth. It's not the conventional model. He's definitely demonstrated in the last 5-6 years he's not a conventional guy when it comes to his inventions, the way he's run his organizations, and the products that are coming out. And I think a lot of people, by and large, need to get not need to get used to, but I mean, I think they're surprised sometimes when you see some of the things he's doing or producing. I mean, look, when that Cybertruck announcement came up, there's literally people were, it's just a joke. They were waiting for the real Cybertruck to come out at any point in time because they were surprised that this is what he was trying to do. That utilitarian look that he went for. I mean, that created a lot of controversy.
Absolutely, and that alone, I almost think it's a strategy of his to actually sit there and create these things that you don't see regularly. Bring the hype. He didn't need to make it out of stainless steel. He didn't need to make, bulletproof windows. Like, it's not necessary. And, there's no F-150 that I can buy right now that comes with bulletproof windows,
Correct.
Right? But I mean, it's these things that it's visions in his head, the shape, and they all have a meaning or a purpose, right? It's,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we mentioned before, he's entering a very personal market space, and he needed to do something that wasn't going to follow conventional norms. You're absolutely right. Who needs a bulletproof window, or in the everyday pickup truck? That being said, he's looking at it and saying, if I can offer you something with an advantage for the same amount of money that you go and you buy your non-bulletproof window F-150 or your dent-proof, and I can do it for the same dollars and cents and offer you the same value. Why not?
Absolutely.
Right? Who's really stopping them at that point?
Absolutely. I mean, you jump on their website now and included in the price, and it's funny because it's a toggle option. You can toggle on and off the approximate savings of fuel that you would have, and all these other features and what they would grant you, right? What they would give you, right? So
you bring up a really valid point, something that's come up before when people were, when he would say, well, I'm going to release an automobile for $35,000, and when the closest vehicle to range and functionality was sitting in the upwards of $120,000, $130,000. That's a huge difference. And and people really gave him some flack for the fact that he released one and then it was, well, but this one's a $70,000 model. I mean, let's look at it this way. He's doing stuff that hasn't been done before. And ultimately, granted, a year and a half late, if not 2 years late, he releases a $35,000 electric vehicle that frankly can almost drive itself, or at least maintain a level of a safety autonomy, if you will.
Absolutely. I mean, to be completely honest with you, again, for me, I'm a bit of a pessimist, and I always challenge you and Tesla on almost anything they make.
Yeah.
It's just in my nature. I don't care if the car is a combustion car or not. The smarts in the car, again, when you order online, it specifically states it's X amount of money to have the extra smart features in it, with a tagline of, and you'll get all the updates, in the future, which would be more valuable now if you buy it at this rate than it went to pack on the values and they auto update in the future.
Sure.
It might cost you twice as much to get it then, right? It's genius.
Look, these it wasn't invented by Elon Musk, the whole put the feature in there but leave the button out, right? And then that way, you simplify production and so forth. But he's taken it one step further. Before, manufacturers would run the wires but not put the actual function in there. Elon Musk is now doing it on software. So now we're literally talking that every time that somebody toggles that option, it's 100% profit. Every time that somebody calls in and does an after purchase factory upgrade. I mean, I got in my Tesla app literally a notification that said I can upgrade the car now for $7,000, I think it was, to add full autonomy. So this is something that, $7,000 of pure profit for Tesla.
Absolutely. It's like any software, right? You code it once, you send it out, and you can resell it over and over again, right? I wouldn't doubt if in the future you can buy a Tesla, or you can buy a Ford that has a Tesla, option as far as software is concerned, built right in.
Yeah.
Elon Musk would just say, I'll give you put the sensors here, here, and here. We'll calibrate them for you, and then you sell our software.
That's right.
Why fight against millions and millions of already autonomous miles logged, and that traffic information and that data? Why replicate it? It's already there.
Yeah, he's definitely, again, the unconventionalism of what he does at the end of the day is something that, raises both positive and negative media effects. The broken window piece, that's water cooler conversations for days, and no other vehicle has had this much positive or negative controversy as far as for free at the end of the day. Yeah, that publicity. Let's face it, every Tesla driver out there is his marketing department. They believe in the vehicle they purchased, even with their quirks, because let's face it, it's been, it's got its ups and downs and so forth. But he's really come through for the most part and said, hey, this is something, we'll fix it and so forth. And he's really moving things to the next level. As he's learning, he's providing to his customer fan base and so forth, which at the end are his marketing engine.
Absolutely. I think of these things, and you were mentioning it there. I'd love to have some statistics about first-year production cars and the amount of problems or recalls they have versus what Tesla's done with all their models, and see if they actually get smaller and smaller. This is a very young company compared to a Ford or a GM, which has been around for 100 years, right? He's not been around that long, and now he's building rockets, like you said. He's boring tunnels in the States. There's, building factories in China, right?
18 months. I mean, to turn around, Ford has never in its entire history pumped out a factory that can, bring out full production vehicles in less than 18 months from the first time they laid shovels to the ground. And now another factory coming out of Germany. So he's really ramped up. I mean, he's gone, when you look at some of the statistics, you go from, a couple of thousand automobiles to several 100,000 automobiles. He's surpassed sales in the U.S. for the local car of all the top four manufacturers. This is a relatively, infant company, if you think about it, and what he's done. It's so, there's, the questions are, can he sustain? Can he continue to do it? Can he continue to innovate? I think yes. I don't, what do you say?
I think it matters where his brain goes, right? You're talking about a guy who's launching rockets into space. This is government territory. This isn't, your run-of-the-mill guy he's launching rockets into space. Okay, he's building cars. He's doing. If he puts his mind to something, he can get it going. Yeah. What's next? And will that take away from Tesla, or will Tesla always be the foundational layer which keeps all his other ideas, going?
Well, I think he's definitely has an advantage, over other CEOs and other owners of organizations that he's got such a diverse landscape of tool sets and so forth. I mean, look, you're right. He's launching rockets, and the same stamping machines that he's learned to use for his Starship is now being used, to stamp out a truck. So
they complement each other.
That's right,
Literally,
and
they
that's the thing.
complement
But
each other.
that's something that not a lot of other manufacturers can do. They rely on others to do it for them, and this is something that Tesla, Elon Musk as a whole, is basically taking in. You're absolutely right. The whole how does he keep his mind focused on such a things? The government piece, to your point, look, he's got the government is buying from him to be able to send, I believe, later this year, hopefully, after the successful abort launch that they did, I guess, a couple days ago or so forth. So after that, now we're talking within the next 6 months, he might be sending a crewed mission with the Dragon capsule. This is, again, the first time that an American organization has sent people to the space station in who knows how many years.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. I remember watching the first rocket barely landing, falling over. It didn't seem that long ago, and now they're going to put humans in this thing, and the government's just going to be in charge of what experiments do we want to do in space? Not we got to get there, we got to show this, show that.
Yeah. Well, again, I think it brings us to the whole the pieces of the private enterprise. What can it do? What can it do for the for the economy as a whole? The fact that these now really globalizing his industry. He's not just focused on in one particular area, but he's targeted to so many different groups. The trucks in one angle, the autonomy in another angle, the environmentalists in another. I mean, he's literally targeting so many different groups. No other manufacturer has done that today.
Yeah, no, it's literally incredible. His reach, his endeavors, I can't say enough about the complementing of technologies. He's even getting involved in trying to solve critical problems like the soccer players that were stuck in the cave. He went out and tried to solve a problem via tweet.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the way this guy thinks. It's arguably limitless. And there's lots of automation companies out there that are automating vehicles and creating them and making them autonomous. Lots of them, you don't hear about them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you, you do not hear that. They don't have the amount of press that Elon Musk is able to generate.
Look, when you say you're talking about the him getting himself involved in some of these rescue missions, the Hurricane extending the range of vehicles that were purchased with the 60 kilowatt, but they actually had the 75 kilowatt battery, so extending the range so they could flee without having to charge. I mean, this is, again, this is all uncharted territory. And this is why, I insist that one of his major things is every Tesla driver, and even those that aren't Tesla drivers, are marketing for Elon Musk and marketing for his organization.
Well, I'm here. I don't own a Tesla. You do. I'm here. Yeah. Right? So,
sure.
Absolutely. And, I'll always hold him to his feet to the fire just to make sure that, I can poke holes in things that he does, like I would anybody. But it's getting progressively harder to do that. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely taking things to the next level, and we want everybody to kind of tune in and take things to the next level and join us for our next conversation. Remember to subscribe to our channel and enjoy your days.
Take care.